In 2016, I had the privilege to go to Australia and New Zealand. One of my stops was to Uluru, which is otherwise known as Ayers Rock. Uluru is the Aboriginal name for this monolith. A monolith is a large, one chunk piece of rock that protrudes up out of the earth. It actually is over 1,100 feet high and has almost as many feet, if not more, underneath. It is about 2 miles, just a little bit over, in length and over 1 mile width. You can see from the pictures that it kind of has a reddish color, and depending on the sunset or the sunrise, the rock changes color. And so for the Aboriginal people, this spot has a lot of special meaning. It's actually quite sacred to them. Because it's an iconic feature of Australia, one that is almost centrally located in Australia, it's also a large tourist destination, which brings with it a lot of ethical dilemmas. Because for many, many years, people would climb the rock, even though the indigenous people, the Ananu, would request that they wouldn't. Again, their people have been protecting this land, and they're charged with protecting the people that visit. And so they request, because of the safety issues and because it's a sacred spot, that people not climb the rock. However, every year people still do, even though it's highly dangerous. It's very steep. There is a chain that can help people part way, but it is also very slippery as the rock gets smooth and worn down by the number of people who climb it, even though they really shouldn't. You can see in the pictures here that the day that I was visiting, there were several people still climbing the rock. And 4 months after I visited Uluru, there was a large rescue because three young men in their early 20s got stuck on the rock and had to be rescued out. It took 11 hours to get them safely off the rock and cost a lot of money. So besides the fact that it is culturally insensitive to do this, the people ignored the warnings and then did not take the necessary precautions to make sure that they were safe. So for many reasons, I wanted to do a short little unit about this to kind of bring to your attention that when we travel, it's really important to learn about the culture, to pay attention to what you're told. We were told by our tour guide that even though it's not banned, it's not illegal to climb the rock, that culturally the people of this land, the original people, do not want us to be doing that. And so out of respect for them, they would hope that we would instead visit the rock, honor the rock, and if we wanted to, we could walk around the rock. But there was even certain spots that we were asked not to take photos because of the sacred meaning that it had to the Aboriginal people. So at the very end of our visit to Uluru, I had to make the decision whether or not to climb or not to climb. I'm guessing you probably could have guessed that I chose not to climb. However, I did take these photos, and I want you just to kind of think about when you travel being culturally sensitive to the wishes of the people whose land you are visiting. So keep that in mind, explore the world, but please do it respectfully.